Yo, so I quickly wanted to make a FPS video like I normally do for, Warzone COD, whoever, like when there's big updates, when a game comes out, and obviously new COD, MW2, I figured I'd do a quick one now as well. Uh, Real quick, I'm going to tell you the plan. We're going to go through the graphics settings, we'll look at interfaces, a couple of things you can change in there, like a parallax effect that stops light crashing, and also I'll quickly show you some stuff in Windows, including the new players folder, and yeah, right. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's go through the graphics settings. Now, obviously, the game is a little bit bugged. It's saying I'm displaying it on a different monitor than I actually am right now. There are a lot of issues. Probably bear with it. A lot of people are refunding the game. It's not enjoyable. But let's just go through the settings and we'll talk about it. So you normally play in full screen exclusive, but for the sake of the recording, I'm keeping it in border so I can tab out and stuff quickly. Make sure that you've got your like refresh rate on like the max that you normally use. So if you're on a 144 hertz monitor, 280 hertz, make sure you use that. Um, Anyway, let's start scrolling through some of the big ones. So just copy along with what I've got here, and I will like talk through some of the ones that really need changing importantly. So they should all like be automatically off, the ones that need to be off anyway, but if not, I'll go through them. But copy along. All these are pretty standard stuff. Custom frame rate. I set my menus to 60 right now just because it helps a little bit with the lag. But it's up to you. I mean, you don't have to do that, but yeah, make sure you also make sure you have it on like max frame rate as well. Don't just stick it on like 100 or whatever. If you can get a little bit more than that, try get you most that you can. All of these pretty normal, all that stuff. Apply, and let's go on to the actual settings. So I've seen a lot of posts on Twitter, I've seen a lot of like videos already on YouTube and stuff, people going through it. These are the best like clarity ones. The best FPS ones are obviously turning everything pretty much to low or off. These are all pretty much lower off as well, but there are a couple that are turned up a little bit just for the clarity, and it does look really good. I've actually really enjoyed using this the last few hours. So yeah, let's go through it. So make sure your render is set to 100% if you're on 1440p or whatever, 1080p, make sure you got it on 100. Fidelity FX CAS I use, and I have the strength on 80 as well. Make sure you use Filmic SMA AT2X to remove some of the blur that comes up, and make sure you have anti-aliasing quality on Ultra. With your video memory scale between 80 and 85, I think it's 85 default. Texture res, normal. Texture filter anisotropic on high. Nearby detail low. Distant detail high. Color to draw distance long. Particle quality low. Very low. I have impacts and sprays on because I like seeing the sprays sometimes, and with Warzone and stuff is kind of fun. But I mean, you probably should turn that off. If I was you, I would turn that off. Shader quality low, tessellation off, terrain memory min, on-demand text streaming turn off because that can cause a lot of stuttering with your game. Happened on Warzone and last COD as well. Streaming quality normal is whatever. Volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, water caustics off. Shadow map res says it hasn't got a setting, but I have it on very low. That's the best one to use. Last year it was a little bit different. You could get away with using some of the higher ones as well, but I think this year you want it very low, and we'll see what happens over the next. There might be an updated version of this in 2 weeks' time anyway, but we'll see. This is on launch day. This is what I'm running, and what I've seen a lot of people trying to run similar ones as well. Screen space shadows off, spot shadow quality low, spot cache on ultra. I don't know why I have this one on, but I have seen people recommending it on Twitter. Um, I'm not super into the technical side of it, to be honest with you. I'm not really that bothered about it, but I've seen people running this, and my game looks good and feels good right now, so I trust these settings, whatever they are. Particle lighting on low, ambient occlusion, make sure that is turned off. SSR off, static reflection quality low, weather grid volumes off. If you're on an NVIDIA GPU, you can use on or on and boost. I've been trying both, and I can't really tell the difference right now, so I'm just going to keep it on. If you have AMD, I don't think you'll have that option, so depth of field off, motion blur off for weapon and the world, film grain set to 0, and then we go over to the view tab. If you're a like competitive player, you'll be on a bit lower FOV, but if you come from Warzone or something, 110 to 120 is pretty good. Make sure you're using affected, that's the best one. You can mess about with the new setting here for the field of view, narrow and wide, but I had a friend tell me that it wasn't that great, so I'd recommend just keeping that default. Third person, if you play third person, it's whatever, adjust your field of view for that. Make sure you turn down camera movement, both down to 50%. That's the lowest setting you can put it on. And that is pretty much it for the graphics tab. I will quickly switch over to interface because there's an option further down. Make sure you disable parallax effects and turn that, completely off. So what happened is when people are loading into custom games, people have been lagging out and bugging out. Also, clan tags. Make sure you don't have a clan tag if you're trying to play custom games because that's been making people disconnect and lag. But yeah, these two, having the clan tag and parallax effects have been causing a lot of scanner repairs and stuff as well. So make sure you turn that off. If you're looking to turn on your FPS counters and stuff, it's in telemetry in here. You just turn it on, select custom, and flick the ones that you want on. And I think that is about it for interface. So what we will do is we'll hop over to Windows. There'll be a couple settings to change, and I'll show you the new players folder as well. Right, let's go. Right, so we're over on Windows now. To find the new players folder, it's in pretty much a similar position as it was for, Vanguard, Warzone, wherever. You go into your documents and you find, where you have I'll go all the way back for you. So you boot into users or whatever, go onto your new one, into your documents. Just find your documents folder, you'll be fine. And in here, click on the one that says Call of Duty. It's the one that's literally just a standard Call of Duty. It's got no name after it or anything like that. You go into the players folder, and in here you'll see a bunch of different options. What you want to do is the options.3.cod22. You want to right click that, and you want to open that with something like Notepad or something. Open that, and you'll see a whole bunch of metrics here that you need to be looking at. And what you actually want to do is, I'm pretty sure it is all the way down towards the bottom, and we're back to the renderer work account stuff. Now, I have an 8-core CPU. Some people are trying it with setting it to their core count. Some people are trying it to half the core count. Some people are trying it one less than the core count. What am I testing right now is half my core count plus one. So if you're on a 6-core CPU, I would recommend. You can't really go much lower than 4, so just try 4 for yourself. 4 is pretty much the minimum as it's always been for COD. So always have it on 4 if you don't have that great of a CPU or that many cores or anything. If you're on something with a lot more cores, if you're talking, something high end like 12 cores or whatever, just try halving it and plus 1 and see what you think. Otherwise, just keep trying different things. Keep bumping the number up one by one, maybe until you get to your core count or something like that. If you can't find your core count, here's what you do: you go in Task Manager and you go on Performance and you see your CPU and you'll find your cores there. You should probably know by now, though, if you've been messing about with settings before, what your core count is and stuff. But yeah, so that's the players folder, and we changed the renderer word count, like I said, to half plus 1 is what I'm trying right now. But you can honestly go from anywhere half your cores all the way up to your actual core count just to see and test it out. Don't go any higher than that, though, because I think that'll cause a lot of issues. And that is all that we are changing in the players folder. I figured I'd also just go through my NVIDIA control panel settings. I'll quickly scroll through and let you copy along with them, but these are ones I've been using over gaming for the last sort of few weeks, months now, and what I use for COD as well, overall. I'll quickly scroll through them for you. There is one or two that I want to quickly glance over, though, once you've seen them. And that is the low latency mode Ultra. I have that on Ultra right now, and I would probably normally say turn it off if you're playing COD, which I am going to do now actually, because they don't like compete well with each other. They don't complement each other very well. So yeah, I definitely not use that. Where else? Anything else? Power management mode, make sure I prefer maximum performance. Ignore preferred refresh rate right now. Make sure it's on highest available. That's on the wrong monitor for me. I don't really know why, but yeah, just make sure you've got everything set where you want it to set at. Make sure you copy along. They're all good. And I'll quickly show you the color settings that I run as well. So on the actual monitor that I use for COD, I have the actual monitor settings with saturation pretty much turned up to like 70% on it, brightness contrast pretty much all the way up, and I have digital vibrance on 80%. And that's pretty much it. So we've gone through the settings in game. We've gone through a couple Windows options and things like that you can do. There'll probably be an updated version of this in a couple weeks or so when the game's had a couple updates and we know what drivers we're on. Speaking of drivers, I am actually on driver version 522, I believe, 522.25. They recommend using ones before this, and this one included as well. So yeah, I'd recommend trying that out if you're on an NVIDIA GPU as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out some of the stuff that's coming out in the future. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.